It's a fact of life, unfortunately. It's not something that happens to just anyone. It used to be that if it happened to you, you'd think, why would I fall for that? But now you can't. It's so sophisticated, so indistinguishable from the real thing, that if you let your guard down for a second, you're bound to fall for it. The most dangerous thing about it is that it's not just your money that's gone. It's more of a scam than a scam. It's your soul that's gone. And it attacks the weakest link. It puts me in a special situation where I wouldn't normally be vulnerable. If the call comes at a time when I'm in a bad place, I'm vulnerable. Or it puts me in an extreme situation when I'm in a calm place, and I can't think straight. Because it's such a social problem, it's often appeared in various whistleblowing programs. It's also been made into quite a few movies. The latest movie about voice phishing is Citizen Ducky. Most of these movies are based on true stories to some extent, but Citizen Ducky is different. It is based on the experience of a person who actually lived in Hwaseong in 2016, and even the date of the call is shown in subtitles to make it feel real. Ramirin runs a laundry and is raising 2 children. Her husband's presence is never shown in the movie. She is working in a related factory because her laundry is unable to work due to a fire. She needs money to bring the store back to life, but she has nowhere to turn for a loan. That's when she is approached by voice phishing. I'm wondering how the phishing organization was able to get such personal information, especially about an employee who works at a particular bank branch. I wonder if this is a movie device. They didn't have a place for their children to live, so they were sleeping together in the factory. They were desperate, and I wonder if they didn't move quickly when they were approached by the phishing organization. I immediately complied with everything they asked me to do and transferred 32 million won to an illegal loan company instead of a regular bank. He reported the scam to the police, but they told him that there was nothing they could do. Even if he traced the account, the money was already gone. They said they needed to know the address to catch the organization, which was in China, not Korea. Suddenly, Gong Myung, the person who had scammed him, called him back. He said he didn't want to do this, but he was kidnapped and forced to do it. He asked him to help him get out of this place. At first, we think it's a more sophisticated approach by a scamming organization. Gong Gong was lured here by the promise of more money for her part-time job. And now she's trapped, being sold, and making calls for scams every day. Ramirin calls the police about Gong Gong's call, but no one cares. Realizing that what she's saying is real, Ramirin travels to China herself. He tries to find a restaurant in his neighborhood based on the photos Gongming sent him. Gongming gets in touch with Ramirin and, with some hope, finds a way to get him out of the country. I don't know how much of this is true, but when I looked it up, it turns out that the guy who got scammed on Mars actually went all the way to China and found the head of the organization. And there's a real person like Gong Myung, and the police busted the organization based on the leads he found. There's a reward for information in the movie. In the case of Citizen Ducky, the police didn't do much. They pretended that they did it and didn't pay any reward. Later, when the media came out, they said that they refused to pay 1 million won. Watching the movie, it seems that they really did it all by themselves. The movie was surprisingly fun. It was tense until the airport scene and gave me unintentional laughter in the middle, so it was fun. The scene where Ramirin meets the chief at the airport and faces him was a little different. It felt too much like a cinematic setting that an ordinary person faces the head of a voice phishing company. It was realistic until then, but I thought it was too much in that scene. Other than that, it felt great to have great courage and catch voice phishing directly. Even now, this rarely happens. It was also amazing that Gong Myung went to China himself. It was also interesting that Gong Myung went to the army after making this movie. But it was postponed due to Corona, and now that it is released, it is being promoted. Voice phishing is a very bad thing that should really disappear.